Short answer, no. Long answer, no. But let's talk about it anyway. So, pre-built PCs. The majority of people looking for a new gaming PC, a new streaming PC, a new anything PC, workstation PC, anything, are going to go pre-built. They either go off the shelf from Walmart, Best Buy, any of these, and it's a Dell PC, or if they go to Micro Center, they'll get a much better value actually off the shelf in Micro Center. Pre-built PCs in that way, or they'll go to one of these companies that does boutique or custom build PCs for you. You know, they build it for you, they ship it to you, to your parts, to your specifications. They give you a great deal, and, you know, we offer the best power, and our PCs are top-notch, and pro engineers built them. And here's the tea, right? Here's the tea. Building a computer is not hard. It's Lego for adults. Things only really fit where they're meant to fit, and as long as you never force anything, you probably can't screw it up. Like an anti-static bracelet attached to a metal ground and never forcing anything, like making sure you don't ever push something too hard, you can build a PC. You can build any PC. You right now could sit down and build any of these PCs that I'm about to show you and not get ripped off by one of these companies that is saying that it's hard to do and that's why they do it for you. These companies also try and put words like value in their advertising. They never say that it's a good value proposition. What they do is they're the best value for us, right? Origin PC's best value PC. That doesn't mean that you're getting good bang for your buck. And I'm going to show you both ends of the spectrum. I'm going to show you the super, super high end first because it's very noticeable there. But I'm also going to show you the super, super budget end and it's very noticeable there. And trust me, it is noticeable all the way in between. So let's start with high end systems. Let's look at this Origin system, right? We've got a AMD Ryzen 7 5800X 8-core processor. They do not offer the 5950X right now. It's out of stock everywhere. So I understand them not offering it. They're offering an MSI X570 Gaming Plus motherboard. It's a decent motherboard. It's not worth the price premium that they pegged on it there. They're offering 32 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance, 3200 megahertz RAM. This was the highest end I could go. 3200 megahertz is not fast enough to AMD. I really want to see 36 at the very least. 38 is the sweet spot. 4000 is overkill. I say that as someone who bought 4000 megahertz RAM for their new system. Corsair H100i Pro XT RGB. I've got to mention the Origin is owned by Corsair, so any part like the RAM or the cooler or the power supply or the system drive, they are actually selling the part at the same time because they're selling the system to you with this part in. They also produce this part because it's their company. Corsair owns Origin. So they're selling you the part. They're getting the profit that they would get just by selling you the part. And then they're charging you a premium on top. And we'll get to how big that premium is in a second. So the RAM is subpar. But let's move on. The graphics card is a 3080. That's a fantastic graphics card, obviously. The operating system drive is a 960 gigabyte Corsair Force MP510. It's a Gen 3 PCIe M.2 drive. I would prefer to see Gen 4, especially at this price, but whatever, it doesn't actually really affect gaming performance that much, and this is aimed as a gaming system. The storage drive is a 1 terabyte Seagate Barracuda SSD, and then we've got a Corsair 850 power supply. For this beast of a PC, and it is a beast of a PC, they want $3,246. Now, most people looking at this will be like, oh my god, it's the latest 30 series graphics card, Ryzen 7 5800X is 5th series Ryzen, we've got an X570 motherboard, oh my god, 32 gigs of RAM, liquid cooling from this AIO. So I've put all the same parts in here. The only things I've changed is I've given a slight upgrade on the RAM. It's slightly better, it's CL16 memory, slightly better timings on the memory. The hard drives have had a slight upgrade. The 970 EVO is faster than the MP510. It's a better hard drive, and I believe that I've actually upgraded from the 175R to the 275R Airflow, which is a much better case from Corsair as well, though. So Corsair was selling you the case before. And it comes to $2,339.65. So a better system in parts, but almost identical, is $1,000 less. They are charging you $1,000 for their build premium, for their warranty and their box and their t-shirt and all of this. First things first, let's talk about the warranties. The warranties aren't worth shit, right? Because when you buy a part from a retailer, you have a warranty on that PC part. If you buy a graphics card and it dies in the first year, I can guarantee you're under warranty. Normally that would be 2 years. Motherboards is generally 2 years. CPUs is generally 2 or even 4 years with an extended warranty that generally costs you $10. And you can definitely afford the $10 for the extended warranty when you're paying $1,000 less for the PC. Some places will even offer you installation insurance. I know in the UK, scan.co.uk, if you buy your parts there, installation insurance, where if you you mess up your installation, even if it's your first time building a PC, they will replace the part. That's how easy building PCs is, that these companies can afford to offer installation insurance. And for this full build, the installation insurance that I found from Scan was £239. So for a quarter of what Origin are trying to charge you to build the system, you can buy all the parts with installation insurance. And if you screw it up, it's the company that sold you the parts holding the L, not you. It is so dumb that they're charging $1,000 premium. But let's say you want to spend $3,300. What can you get? Well, let's have a look at a system that I've spec'd out at the same price. We've gone with a better motherboard. It's a side grade technically because it's the same price range, but it's a better motherboard in that price range. The same cooler because I wanted to keep things pretty consistent. We've gone with the 5950X, a 16-core, 32-thread processor, doubling your CPU cores. Absolutely insane. We've gone with way better RAM. Our G-Skill Trident Z Neo, which is spec'd out specifically for AMD, so we know it's going to run on its DOCP profile, It's DDR4 3600, which as I told you is the minimum that we want. 3800 is the absolute maximum performance-wise that matters, really. But we've gone with 3600 because it's the best price point, and CL16, you really want to have good timings. We've gone with those better Samsung drives. We've gone with an RTX 3090 instead of a 3080, a much more powerful graphics card, and we've got a way nicer case in the Lian Li O11 Dynamic. It's an absolutely stunning PC case. If I was not making a scratch-built case for my new build, I would be building it in the O11 Dynamic because it's a stunning case. And this comes to $3,286, so you even have enough money for a meal out left over at the end of it all. This is what I mean. This is the level that you're getting ripped off to. And I know what you guys are going to say. Oh, Duncan, you're only talking about Origin. So let's talk about the NZXT Creator. This is a $3,500 system. The RAM is only 3,000 megahertz. The processor is Intel in 2021, a 10900K, a 10-core processor. You do have the 3090 in here. You do have a good power supply in the Seagate 850, and you do get a 4 terabyte spinning drive in there. But you get a worse case. The ASRock Taichi motherboard is okay. Overall, it's better value than Origin. It is definitely better value. But again, the same price system, the $3,200 system, so saving yourself, $3,286, so saving yourself $214, you get a way better system here, and you could definitely spend that $214 to upgrade the RAM to 64 gigabytes and spend the $120 on the 4 terabyte hard drive if you really wanted that extra space, or you could just buy 2 more 1 terabyte hard drives at $92 each and still be under the price and have the same storage but all hard drives. So this is a way better value proposition again than NZXT, and NZXT Creator was the best value system I could find. Absolutely the best bang for your buck pre-built system I could find was that NZXT Creator system. It was by far the best. Let's talk about the worst real quick. This iBuyPower. Anybody who buys an iBuyPower system, and I know they had the Snowblind gimmick case, which was beautiful, and I know that I wanted one, but they didn't sell the case separately, and now they do sell the case separately, but I don't want one anymore because I'm building my own case now. But it's beautiful. It's got that panel with the LED LCD screen, but you can see through it and still see your PC parts through a screen on the side of the PC. Gimmicks are great, and some gimmicks are better than others. That is definitely better than the absolute dumb gimmick in the KF console, the chicken warming drawer that somehow justifies spending thousands of extra dollars for worse performance because you're using an Intel NUC compute unit that's designed for small form factor, ultra small form factor PCs, but then you're putting it in a full-size mid-tower in order to have a chicken warming drawer. And I can make a whole video about how dumb the KF console is. It is the worst pre-built. It is the epitome of bad pre-built PCs. Anybody who buys the KF console is an idiot. If you buy that system, you're stupid. It's as simple as that. You are stupid. I don't have another word for it. You're an idiot. You deserve to be parted from your money. The stupid are parted from their money, and I don't feel bad for you because they deserve your money for how dumb you are if you buy the KF console. It's as simple as that. But the same goes for this system here at $4,385 for a 3950X because they didn't have the 5950X available. They do have the 3090, just a 1 terabyte hard drive, an average motherboard at best, 32 gigabytes of okay 3600 megahertz RAM, just an ugly case. Like $4,385. I didn't even put a comparison system up because my $3,286 PC blows it out of the water, like completely obliterates this system. Like it just on a whole nother level. There are eBay sellers, they're no more worth it. I've put a godlike eBay seller here with a $6,000 PC, and then the same parts, even with the terrible choices he made, like a $700 godlike motherboard that's completely unnecessary, or 64 gigabytes of RAM in this system, or the super ugly ROG Helios case that's a $300 ugly as hell case. $42.33 for the parts, so he's charging you a $2,000 premium, including making you pay for his bad choices in parts. Small eBay seller was a little bit more reasonable at $4,200 for a similar system, but then they're giving you the RAM at $29.33. They're not telling you what motherboard they're running, which is very questionable. And then again, they've got a 10900K in the system, which again, at $4,200 is just, it's unbelievable. Now, there are some people who will build a PC for you. So you pay for the parts, you buy the parts go to them, and they build the PC for you. Micro Center will do it in the US. If you are in driving range of a Micro Center and you buy some of the parts there, because they generally have the best deals anyway, they'll build a PC for you. A basic build like this will cost you $100, maybe $200. Fully liquid-cooled loop build, I think, is $399, which is good value for a full liquid-cooled loop. You will buy the parts as well, obviously, but even then, $399 is nowhere near the build fees that you're paying here. Somebody I have seen on Twitter, back when I had a Twitter a lot, was Power GPU, and back then his build fees were incredibly reasonable. I think $200 to build the system to you, plus your shipping, and you buy all the parts and you ship them to him. Or he invoices you for the parts, but he tells you exactly what you're spending on what parts. That's an awesome business, and he's a guy just trying to make a living on his own, and as a result, he can't push out the volume that these sites do. He can't pay for the SEO when you go buy a built system, but what he can do is people who know of him, who find him, especially creators that he is very helpful for, can get a very good value PC, and I believe he now laser engraves cases and all of that cool stuff. So really, really great builder, and I recommend if people are too scared to build their own, which again, you should not be. A child could do it. I have literally taught children to build PCs. I taught a 13-year-old to build a PC once. It is not hard. You can build your own PC, but if you don't want to, then Power GPU is a good option. Taking it to a Micro Center is a good option. And then finally, the thing that a lot of people are going to be talking about is budget PCs. They're going to tell me, but Duncan, on a budget, and this is one of the big marketing tricks that these companies use, on a budget, it's actually cheaper to buy a pre-built. Well, that's not true. And I could not find a single pre-built that was worth it, that you wouldn't be better off just going and buying from Micro Center. So this is an open challenge to every system integrator out there. Show me that your PCs are worth it. Show me that your PCs plus the build fee is less than just buying the parts and going to a Micro Center, who will build it just as well, if not better than your companies, because Linus Tech Tips did an expose video and none of you guys recommended good systems, built good systems. Every single one of you was a ripoff. Every single one of you was basically borderline scam. It's really embarrassing. So System Integrators Open Challenge, if you can prove that you have good value, I will plug you free sponsorships for a year. I will plug you twice a week in videos for a year. No payment, nothing. You will get plugged just for being good value, but you have to prove that you're good value. So let's have a look at an Origin budget system here. $2,200 for a 5600X, a B550 ASRock Phantom gaming motherboard, 16 gigs of RAM, a standard 240mm AIO, 3060 Ti? Really? That's all we get for $2,200? 512 gigabyte Origin PC powered by Samsung hard drive, so some rebranded Samsung hard drive, and a Corsair 750X power supply. So $2,200 for this. The same specs. Let's have a look at the Origin budget system. Same parts, so all the same parts with a slight hard drive upgrade because we went for the 970 Evo instead of this weird thing. A better case with the 275, you know, just actual upgrades if it's changed. Other than that, it's all identical. $1,517.92. They are charging you $690 to build a budget system. I just want to point out as well that for $100 more, you can get that Origin premium system and then build it yourself. $100 more. $2,339, you can build the 5800X 3080 system instead of the 5600X 3060 Ti system. Like, the power difference between those two gaming systems, one of them is a 4K gaming beast. The other one will struggle at 1440p. It's unacceptable. These companies are ripping people off. I hope that this video has encouraged you to build your own systems. There are guides all over YouTube, all over the internet, to building your own systems, just the basics of it. If you don't force things, even if you want to spend a bit of extra money to get the safety stuff, to get the anti-static wristband, to get the special screwdrivers that are electric screwdrivers that will stop screwing if it's too much pressure on a motherboard. So you just hold a button until it screws. Once it stops, that's your motherboard screwed in and things like that. So they're designed for PC building. Even buying all of that, that's going to cost you less than $100. And then you build your own system and you have saved nearly $1,000, or you've saved $600 on a budget system. I really, really hope that some of you out there were considering buying, because a lot of people are considering buying a pre-built system. You've watched this video and now you're like, maybe I'll build it myself. Or even, maybe I'll look up if there's a Micro Center near me and drive to a freaking Micro Center to get it built by them. Thank you so much for watching. Good outro. Look, morning voice. I'm tired. I'll see you guys. Bye-bye.